All right. Well, here we are. Podcast time. We just had a big day. We do a couple of Sundays besides like an Easter or Christmas that we call kind of show up Sundays or big Sundays. It's really kind of getting people back in the rhythm of coming to church. It's fall, or we're heading towards fall, I guess. Heading back to school and some of those rhythms, which for some of us we look forward to, some of us not as much, but last Sunday was a big Sunday, and actually you've had kind of 3 big Sundays in a row. So we had beach baptisms, then we had contribution Sunday. This is kind of the third one is, hey, show up. And we actually had a great Sunday. We had more baptisms this week. We had a baptism Thursday. We had 2 on Sunday. And God keeps showing up in big ways, and we just it's just been a lot of fun. And it's really kind of despite ourselves, even like we can try to do all the things in our best of our power, and sometimes things get a little clunky, and yet God is still faithful, and people are still here and ministered to, and it was amazing to see what God has been doing. So one of the things we talked about, or we started a new series, is on distractions, which is really the flip side of that, is really about focus. And I know that for Austin, he's our creative arts executive pastor, and creativity is one of your heartbeats and one of your skill sets. Yeah. How do you stay creative? Whether it's you've done some musical writing, you've done some physical handwriting, putting together some books and such. But how do you stay creative in our valley? Because it's got to take some amount of focus, right?
Yeah, it definitely takes focus. Well, I would begin with what creativity is. Creativity, for me, and this is something I've been rediscovering this last year, is an act of service to others.
Okay.
It's an act of worship, and it's an act of personal enjoyment. And so, like, one of the ways that I am able to create is, number one, understanding that it's a gift from God that I get to give back. Right. And I also get to enjoy.
Sure.
So it's not like, this thing I gotta just sludge through, and I really love creating and worshiping through that and blessing others through it. But it requires a lot of focus and a lot of intentionality, and it also requires letting go of getting frustrated when you are distracted sometimes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, and here's how I kind of describe it. So sometimes those distractions that come in, let's say it's children walking in at 6 a.m. with their, microphone that has a Shakira song on it. And I'm in my devotional time writing and this and that. And, she walks in and she's got this loud thing going on. I'm like, good morning. And it messes your train of thought, yeah. Right? So I can easily just say, oh, I'm done. My day's over. Or I could actually use that distraction and incorporate it into what I'm creating. So, right. So part of it is sometimes, not all the time, seeing distractions as a positive, which, there are negative distractions that we
Sure.
talked about this weekend, of course. But so one of the things is staying focused, right? But you're going to have to actually find time to be focused. For me, it's early mornings. I'll go to coffee shops, sit by myself with my headphones in. Sometimes people walk up and say hi, depending on where I'm at, right? Yeah. Which is great. Those are good distractions, right? Yeah. And I just stay focused. I set aside specific time.
So it really starts with your calendar.
It does start with your calendar. I think it starts with a passion.
Okay. For
whatever you're doing, whatever your work is. And some of us have what we would call your life's work. For me, I've come to discover part of my life's work on the creative sense is writing songs.
Right.
And there's been seasons, I've been writing songs for over 20 years, since junior high when they were terrible. High school, they were terrible. A little bit after high school, they were still terrible. Well, I don't know how they are now, I guess. But anyways, I've been writing for a really long time. And it requires resolve. It requires tenacity. It requires understanding that it's a gift given to give back.
Right.
Right. And just remembering that faithfulness is a big part of whatever your life's work is.
Right.
Right. So for me, that's what it is. But for another, it's something else. And it requires focus. It requires trusting in the Lord. It requires faithfulness to the craft or whatever it might be. There's a lot of pieces to it.
Yeah, I think trusting the Lord's a big piece. Is I don't know if pride's the opposite of that. Maybe. I think sometimes we don't stay focused, or we don't manage our time well, because I think, or at least I'll speak to myself, I think sometimes we feel like if I don't handle that thing that jumped into this creative space or this protected space, if I don't handle that thing right now, then it won't get handled, or that person will be let down, or, does that make sense? And sometimes you have to trust, like, God, that's a thing, but I'm not going to get to that thing just yet. And you just have to trust that it can wait,
Yeah.
a little bit of time.
The thing that's going to freak all of us out as I say this is there's only so much time.
Right. Yeah. Period.
Like in a day, and also here on earth.
Right.
Right. And I actually wanted to bring up this book that I read recently.
Yes.
It's a book called Leaf by Niggle. Okay. It's by J.R.R. Tolkien. Maybe you've heard of him.
Yeah.
He kind of wrote
kind of famous.
some big books. Now,
that's a shorter book.
This is a short book. It's like 40 pages.
Does it have elves in it?
It does not have elves in it.
Oh.
So he wrote this. He basically woke up one day and wrote this in one sitting, apparently.
A creative.
But he was just starting the Lord of the Rings series, and he was unsure of if he was going to be able to complete it. Basically, I mean, he was in his 60s when Lord of the Rings actually was finished and came out.
Mm-hmm.
I think The Hobbit came out when he was like 39, 38, somewhere around there. So writing books takes a really long time, and that was his life's work in many ways. And so he had this fear that he would not complete the work that he felt he was tasked to do in this life. And that is just exactly what we feel as creatives. Like, will I complete, and not just creatives, but like anybody, like, will I complete the work that God has for me? Like Nehemiah, will I complete the work that God has for me? And so this book is an allegory for the creative life, and it basically documents a painter who's fixated on a leaf, and he's just working out all the details. He's got this huge thing to accomplish, and he knows that he has this a train that he's going to get on and leave, and it represents death. Like, he knows his time is coming soon. Yeah. And so he's working on this leaf, and he keeps getting interrupted by this guy named Parrish. It's his neighbor. And the laws of the land say you need to always be helping your neighbor, right? Kind of comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
And so he keeps getting frustrated, but he keeps doing the right thing, and he's helping this guy with his roof and all these things. And then his time comes, and his painting is not complete.
Oh.
And so he ends up going to heaven, essentially. And he sees the whole painting completed and more. He sees the mountains and all these things. And it's this, the book itself is basically saying, number one, to pursue your life's work. There's a reason for it. Number two is to trust in the Lord with it. And at the end of the day, like, it's his.
There's the thing there.
It's his. And then number three is those distractions, who are people matter, and they matter to God. And you actually see that at the end of the book too, where he's with this guy named Parrish in heaven, and they're working on the painting together at the end, type of thing. So it's a wonderful book. If you have time to get it, it's 40 pages. I'd check it out. So
and so we did. Austin mentioned this. We talked about Nehemiah this week, and I think all those three things are playing out in Nehemiah as well. He has a great work that the Lord gave to him. He ends up working with his community. He has a community of people he needs to take care of. Like that's kind of, we skipped over those chapters, but they come under like physical threat and they have to defend themselves and be ready to defend themselves. And they also have some haters. Okay. They're not a lot. It doesn't sound like there's haters in the Leaf book. Oh, there are?
Oh, there are.
Okay.
Yes.
Sand ballots, we call them now. We don't have to call them haters. We just call them sand ballots.
Yeah.
And then the fact that the work is for Nehemiah, but it's also for the Lord. Like it's his work, but it's also God's work, and it's a good work. And I think those three things that you mentioned from the beginning of what it means to be creative and why it's valuable is it matters because God's given it to me. It matters because it connects me with other people. It allows me to interact with them. And ultimately it's the Lord's. It's for the Lord's glory. And those are things that what Austin said too is this isn't just being about a creative. It's whatever's made your intention or whatever great work the Lord has hidden inside your heart for you to do. And it could manifest itself in so many different ways in every person's life. So it's been interesting to watch you, Austin, this last year really kind of try to figure out that creative rhythm for you, especially as your family's still kind of on the younger side and finding space. And that has meant waking up early, jumping in on all the fun stuff that little ones do to us along the way. But I think, where some people would say, well, I wrote songs in my 20s and now I'm a dad. You're trying to find ways to not just write songs again and be focused on that, but also helping others be creative. I know that you're doing that as well. And you're trying to step out and go, okay, how do I write some of this down? How do I maybe some of this is going to last longer than me if I can put some words on paper. And so I've really appreciated that about your process and trying to explore that and not saying, I don't want to be creative anymore or I don't have time for it. It's like, no, I am a creative. I am going to find time for it.
There are some things, there's probably something in every, if you're watching this video, there's something in your life that you just can't let go of.
Yeah.
And for me, it's always been writing. Whether that's songs or, books or whatever, I just can't let it go. There's a couple things that come to mind in this conversation. One, many of us don't know what our calling is. And I heard someone say this recently, that calling is found in community. And I think that's really important for us to remember. So if you are trying to figure out maybe what that great work is in your life, like I would bet the people around you could tell you.
Absolutely.
And especially within the church and understanding of spiritual gifts and whatnot. So I would just encourage all of us in that.
Yeah. And that's happened for you, right? Because I know my calling was reinforced by youth pastors and then reinforced again by my church community and reinforced, it kind of goes over. And that happened for you too at a very young age when you felt at 13, junior high age, music was kind of a direction, but then, you got plugged into youth group, you got plugged into some music teachers at church and some different things people poured into you, right?
Oh yeah. And people have encouraged me over the decades.
Right.
Like there have been seasons where I have said, God, why am I still doing this? Why would you have me keep writing songs?
Right.
Like, I don't even understand. No one even listens. And like, you have to understand, like I came from I was in a signed band where I had popularity, right?
Yeah.
To some degree. And I moved into, ministry, the church world. And like, it was just different. And I had to learn the difference. Right. And it was very forming for me in a very positive way. And now I've been able to learn like that creativity, here's the thing. This is really important. It's important for me. Like you are blessing the people closest to you. It doesn't ever have to go beyond that.
Right.
And that's something I had to learn as someone who was like, out touring and doing all those things. And in a world of social media of this person's huge for the things that they say or they write, it's like, we can't compare ourselves to those things.
Right.
Like we just can't. It's going to
Yeah.
ruin our creativity. It's going to
Absolutely.
ruin the great work that God has for us. And so we need to figure out what the calling is, what the great work is, and then like figure out a way to stay focused on it. Allow, the positive distractions, which are people, into your life. One of the things I'm working on is, I'm working on a new book as well as some new songs, but I'm working on a new book and it's about rediscovering the joy of creativity. And so creativity is obviously on my mind. You can tell as we talk. But a big reason is because I've had like children the last 8 years and I'm watching them like just pick up a paintbrush and go. Like, not because I told them to, but just because they love doing
They
it.
want to, yeah.
And they want to. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like I've lost some of that, and I think in the world of AI and computers, like people can feel like, well, there's infinite content out there. Why bother?
Yeah.
Like why should I write another song if there's millions of songs, even fake songs at this point, being thrown out there?
Yeah. Well, the reason is God has given you a great work.
Exactly.
And you have to be faithful.
Exactly.
And he's going to be faithful when you're faithful. And so there's going to be a person in the audience. There's going to be a person in your community. There's going to be a person at your company or in your school that is going to be blessed because you were faithful to what God put in your heart and gave you that great work. And we have to stay focused on it. And it's easier when you see the haters like Nehemiah did in chapter 6. And he says, nope, I can't come down. I'm doing a great work. It's a little harder when it's other things of this world. But we believe that God gives everybody something special to bless others with. And so, man, I hope that you show up. Not just on our big weekends, that maybe you'll show up just any weekend to worship with us and to do community with us. And we're seeing some amazing things happen here at Community Christian. And we don't want to get distracted by the things of this world. And so that's what we're going to be exploring for the next couple of weeks. And we'd love to see you there either on Thursday or at one of our campuses on Sunday. God bless you. We'll see you next week.
See you.